Greetings, my Garifuna people. My name is Jess Flores alongside Q at the Malady Studios. Just hear me out. 19th of November, a Garifuna day in Belize, Central America. A day we must remember. Let's pray, let's feast and dance together. But remember, only unity can keep us together. Eleho Beni, Chataway, TV Ramos were so valiant on the mission. Why so much division? Some of us are exhausted with confusion, misrepresentation of the roots and culture, and have no future in the Garifuna culture. Why so much division? Eleho Beni, Chataway, TV Ramos had a vision. One people, one church, one God, and a big celebration. One people, one church, one God, and a big celebration. One people, one church, one God, and a big celebration. Garifuna, whether you're from Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, and Nicaragua, unity within our world will bring stability to our community. Let's join hands and pay respect to these heroes for a job well done. The Garifuna people are no mystery. They have a great history. One people, one church, one God, and a big celebration. One people, one church, one God.
Yeah. We're Wageta le DYFA Wabagari radio station 91.7 FM. Yage lu sun ubo. We're Penny. Barangu Simba, the Church Strong, Hopkins, Uganda, Dangiga, Loba Balis. Wamada go to Ago Tikigarada. We're Mariga. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say good night, one and all, good night to all our radio listeners on 91.7 FM. Also, good night to our Facebook viewers and friends all around the world. So tonight we'll be talking about Garifuna spirituality. Join me in about the next seven or so minutes. Charlie Mars. So this is a regular Tuesday night show, 7 to 8 p.m. But tonight we start Belize time tonight, so we're still on time. We're never late. Now, moving along though, ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest tonight to share some insight on what we're going to be discussing tonight and more gratitude with no other than our branch president, Miss Marsha Mejia. Where to go, Miss Marsha? Miss Marsha, please hold it. You can hold the mic now. Just hold it down, okay? Easier. Look at it. Just hold it. Yeah, you good?
Little grill. Hi, everybody.
Yes, Miss Marsha. Well, I see that, and I want to tell the people out there that our foundation, which is our Garifuna spirituality, has been under threat for a long time, and the same thing that is under threat is the most important aspect of Garifuna spirituality, and it is the foundation of Garifuna duo, because without that we won't be able to be focused, driven, strong, smart. So we have something to really, that strength, that spiritual strength, that to really give us that motivation, give us all these aspects that makes us one people. And a lot of times we tend to forget about it. And I could understand the pressure that we've been under for many years, having to have our own spirituality. And I wonder why. Wonder why others try or target our spirituality. I wonder why. Why I want to think so? Why I want to believe so? Isn't it because that it's a powerful thing? Isn't it because it's something that should bring us together? Isn't it because something that really is the rock of our mere existence as Garifuna people? So, what do you think about that, Miss Marsha?
Well, I have to say that I'm looking back at what we did on Saturday. Let me go there before I get to that specifically. NGC Dagwega branch had an ancestral offering at the Buyaba in Bakatown, and we reached out to several individuals within the community so that they could have participated in the event. And they really didn't have to bring anything, but they were free to do so. But what was really important for us was their participation more than anything else. Our culture, Mr. Herrera. And yes, some Garinago do have their calling. And I personally believe that, especially the ones with their calling, they should have supported this event. So when I got some of those responses, I was shocked because of some of the people who said those things. You know, yes, we're not all gifted, but especially the ones who are gifted, you shouldn't be afraid to step up and participate in something like this, because you are the ones who can actually give us messages and all these things for you to be this way. Yes, people say a lot of things about us in terms of being evil and whatnot, but we know that that is not true. A true Garifuna knows that that is not true. And if you are a true Garifuna, that means you accept every aspect of the Garifuna culture. You don't choose what part you want to love or appreciate. You shouldn't have to choose. Everything you should accept and respect. You know, because our ancestors are not out here to harm us. They are out here to guide and support us. You know, and the people with the special gift who can make that connection. I mean, I honestly was looking forward to their support, which was like basically little. You know, it could have been better, but hopefully in the future they change their mindset and reach out, you know, because it doesn't necessarily mean that if you had reached the event that would have happened, you know. So as Garinago, some of the responses I got, Mr. Herrera, it was disappointing for me, especially the people who gave some of these responses. Some I won't even share, you know, because it's coming from our own people. And this is the kind of thing that we are trying to change, because NGC is the Garifuna organization who everybody wants to look up to, so that we can be the one to lead the preservation of the Garifuna culture. And that includes spirituality. So when we do things like this, we want full support from our community, because it's not about NGC, it's about the Garifuna people. And if we don't get your support, how can anything be successful?
Yes,
go ahead, Mr. Herrera.
Yes, I must agree with you, Miss Marsha. I was there, and quite frankly, it was a beautiful event that I wish that everyone in this town could have packed that. And the weather played a little role, just a little. But you know what? You know, 19th day, if it's storm, if it's thunder, we were there behind the truck. So why not behind the temple or in the temple? And it started that way about when we have these events. So people, let's wise up. There were great information that was shared, and you can go back on the live and check it out and see how some of the things that you might have a question, and sometimes you might have some kind of doubt about, you know, especially the part about the Obia part or the evil part. No, none of that. It was all about love. It was about giving. I was giving to our ancestors, the people that was here before us, that paved the way for us to have 19, for us to be here today. You know, so yes, it was a beautiful occasion.
And we started the day with a service. That is to tell you that, of course, there is no one bigger than God, not even our ancestors. And we started the day with a service.
Okay, tell us a little bit then, Ms. Marsha, about, I know the rest of the day for that day. What was shared? What was, you know, what was at that event?
Okay, the day started with a service scheduled for 8, but we started around 8:30 due to the weather, and we were giving at least the participants for the mass time to reach before we started the service. In that service, we all know that Mr. Cayetano is very knowledgeable. He has a whole lot of knowledge when it comes to our culture, so we reached out to him and asked him to do the reflection in the service so that the people can understand the importance of accepting Garifuna spirituality, all things Garifuna, the language, every single thing, you know. And if you tune into DYFA, the video is still there, the live is still up. You can go back and you can hear everything that Mr. Cayetano shared, and it was touching for those who were there. People agreed with every single thing that Mr. Cayetano had to say. So we expected nothing less from Mr. Cayetano.
Yeah, and that was a very powerful expression there, very powerful speech. I think he hit the nail right on the head, because he was even talking in language that we need to hear. He was even expressing himself and how, you know, the direction of the system, where the system has taken us. He really acknowledged that and let people know, hey, look, we can't talk this way because, you know, I can't understand me. But he understand why you don't understand, you know. So it was very touching.
It was. So after the service, we had the offering for our ancestors. We set food. The food went down before 12. We had variety. All the different Garifuna dishes, they were there. We had pastries. We had different drinks. We had different porridges on the table, and I have to give thanks to Miss Yvonne Nunes from New Site. She took on the preparation of the food, and she did an awesome job.
It was rich.
We can't complain at all.
It was rich.
She did an awesome job. We weren't short of anything on that table. And of course, there were others who showed up on behalf of their family member, because we reached out to them. They showed up and they also brought something for the table as well. And that's what we wanted from the community. After we set the food, we did the Abaima honey and the Aruma honey before we took it down. And we did some prayers, we did some songs, and then after the Abaima honey and the Aruma honey, we did a Malay. And after the Malay, we had traditional drumming, and that's how we ended the day.
I missed Malay. I really did, because I had to go to a funeral, you know. So that was my godfather, Mr. Felix Rodriguez, you know. And I had to go. I never gone in a week. So, and if I'm gone in a week, I never go in a funeral. But, you know, I try to make it to that way as much as I can. And I hope you guys too. I hope you visit. They have some. I know sometime of the year they have mass in the evening too, and at 5 o'clock. I think they do.
Yes, you can go to be a part of the prayer service. They do. So with all this activity, the activities that we had on Saturday, of course it wouldn't have been possible without some people. So I want to mention them. I have my list. We have Mr. Derek Velasquez from Sobel. First word, when I reached out to him and told him what we were doing, he said, Miss Mejia, no problem, I'll send something.
Thank you, Mr. Velasquez, Derek Velasquez. That's from Sobel.
Yes.
That's from Sobel Media right here. And again, you support Sobel Media all the time. You know, we're one people again, like how we open the show with one people, one God, one voice.
We have a member of our executive, Miss Rosita Alvarez.
Big up yourself, Miss Rosita. I know she's listening and she's
Yes.
tuning live right now. Thank you, Miss Rosita.
We have Miss Doreen Sabal, the chairlady for the parade committee.
Yes, thanks to my big hair classmate and me call also.
We have Reckless Felix Flores.
Reckless again, coming
I
through.
reached out to Reckless and first word, Reckless said, just tell me where you want me here and I have you. And he came through. We have the Mariana family, Naomi and Yolanda, that side. And I reached out to them, they said, no problem, we're going to send a contribution. Esther Ciego, my dear friend.
From New York?
One thing, she's right here in Dangriga.
It's
Right here in Dangriga, Sabas community. Yes, that's my friend. She never says no to me. So Esther, thanks for your contribution. My principal, Miss Carol Ellis.
Came true.
I went to my principal and
She
I
said
told
no?
my principal, Miss, this is the way we try me. Please see what you could do for me. And from within her family, I got a contribution. Thanks very much, Miss Ellis. We have some of my co-workers. Brianna Robinson, she's on internship at Gulisi Community Primary School. We have Isani Ventura, a teacher at Gulisi Community Primary School. We have Urson Francisco, also a teacher at Gulisi Community Primary School. So they also contributed. Then our warden, Miss Desiree Diego, she also contributed. My students, they also gave me a contribution.
Nice.
Miss Teresa Lino, I told her, you know, we need to do some fundraising and this is what we're doing. And Terry said, oh, Miss Marsh, send me some. I will make sure I get something. And I really appreciated that. And within 3 days, Miss Lino called and said, Miss, you could come. Then we have Cool Marin from the family of Solomon Marin,
Yes.
his daughter. She made a contribution. My precious princess, that's how I call her, Kersha Munnings. First word, I like that she's working now. She gave me a little contribution.
I saw her release today.
That's where she's working. Then we have Tanya Vicente. She also made her contribution. My friend Lisa Richards. Kiva Quillen, she's a family member to TB Ramos. Her mom also contributed as well. Helen Quillen. Another friend, Mishka Tilip. Kinima Palacio, an active Garifuna youth.
Kenima give?
Yes.
Thank you, Kenima.
Then we have Miss Rivas. These are people who, our fundraising activities that we have out right now, they already supported. So their contribution definitely helped us. We got a donation from Brody's. We got a donation from Belize Water Service. My neighbor Dora Sabal. Of course, we have to give thanks to Mr. Eroy Cayetano. My mother. There are others who I probably forgot to take note of, but it's not intentional. But we really and truly appreciate it. And most of these people, like I mentioned, they're supporting the fundraising activities that we have going on and made their contribution very early. So since they were able to make their contribution early, we were able to use it in preparation for the ancestral offering. And I always say, when we remember our ancestors, definitely they will continue to guide us. They will help us every step of the way. Sometimes we wonder how come certain things are possible. It's the work of God and our ancestors, and we have to always remember that.
Binar, with that, Miss Marshall, stick around. Though, stick around. I wanna chime in. I wanna make Charlie Mar shining in this conversation. That's because we will carry it forward here. 'Cause it don't tell me I already make I must eat. Because when I start 7 o'clock, because I normally get off a little early for make I go eat, but how hard now? Right? So we to go on Charlie Mar.
Eh, bitu go on amole. Bitu go on Marshall. Ah man gunda nagamu ni bhara.
Bidi Guyo, Mr. Mar.
Nagama hayadi Marshall. Nagama hayadi. Bitu go on home soon nagama hati. I want to let you know, Marsha, that you and everyone who participated did an excellent job. For me, there's no room for any complaining. Hulili Tomati Legada Badua Ama Wayuno. It is much deeper than we think. If my memory served me right, from my knowledge about our spirituality. Yes, you're right. Those who are gifted should have been there. Memegya Giarati or Guara La Machila Guba de La Ladiga Mabsowati again. Just like how those who believe in Christ Jesus, the word of God says it's not by might, it's not by power, but it's by the Spirit, says the Lord. Wayunagaba Adunderawa. Uwe numa ahari gofulit. Ubafu lishu sunti gabafu home. And you were so right. God first, then our ancestors, and the Holy Spirit. Their guidance. But with our culture, sometimes I believe that those who are gifted get this thing all twisted. Because if they were led by the Spirit, and our ancestors, they would have been there. But because of their belief, there's a saying that our ancestors, they don't present themselves on days where there are funerals, whether it may be, whichever day it may be. Machila guba ni ahari, wayunogo, bale, yenta onweguno. But that was not the case for that Saturday. That Saturday was supposed to be a day of fellowship. So when we misunderstand what we should and should not do, those are the type of things that occur, Marsha. And with that being said, even with that being said, those who were watching and those who were there learned a whole lot. I hope they did. Why? Because Maurice and myself have been crying out to our people for years, to the point where I don't want to open up a can of worms or to upset the Valentine family, but I'm sure that his spirit will be happy enough to hear that we mention his name, because DYFA invited him, and we had him right there where you were sitting, 2 or 3 different occasions. And what transpired on Saturday was being mentioned in all those 3 times that he was there with us. And with that being said again, until people understand what our culture and our spirituality is all about, we gonna make a big difference. Because if we continue complaining about what they don't do, well, then we're giving the enemies an upper hand, because the enemies, up until right now, they believe that they have the upper hand over Garinago. But I want to tell you, Saturday showed that we all serve the same God with that service that you all had. We serve the same God. And again, Baba Roy explained what our spirituality is all about and what Garifuna is all about, because a lot of people did not or do not know what Garifuna is all about. And this is what we're doing right now. Wadasi. Gibegil Wadasi. Luwa rufda ho, luwa rufda, luwa bela wonde wulida aba. This is the Gido, but this is a start, Marsha. This is the beginning. You see? And Ida and I had a conversation 2 days ago, maybe 3. I asked him this question because I know there are those outside that are asking the very same question. How come we don't go into Wardaboyaba all the time to have services? Well, I can answer that. Why? Because there are many churches that have opened and open their doors to many that goes in there to do nonsense and start from the pulpit. But then hamati wa you no go sunkate con regular. With our spirituality, everything has to be real because they are accountable to God. Our ancestors, like ourselves, are accountable to God. Shall we be a dawa to be Joniga Aoyen? And the only thing, well, before I go there, Baba Roy spoke in Garifuna, and he borrowed some English words. That was very good. I loved every minute of it. You know why? Because if Mr. Cayetano would have spoken fluently in Garifuna, there would be many that wouldn't understand nothing that he said. Hence the reason I always tell people, if you want to write, write. You write, and you spell just like how you hear it, and then you translate. So if you're making any mistakes, there are those who know will be able to assist in correcting your mistake. And that was part of what Mr. Cayetano was doing.
Yeah.
That's to what 10-year-old.
Yeah, with that said, Talamar, I think you broke it down. You broke it down very eloquently, so that people could also understand what you're saying if they missed it. Because I think we're all on the same page that message that Mr. Cayetano, for a long time, he never boring, he never send me for go sleep. It's right on point, and you know
Right on point.
anybody could have
Right.
understand that, you know, for all
Ferudu
ages.
Bana Namule, Ferudu Bana, he was right on point and everybody could have understood that, or what he was saying. And I love that. But then, like as I said earlier, Agamba Bana Musu Garo Namulelo. Then again, this is not to be controversial or anything like that, okay? He said that we should follow our ancestors as in calling God as a female gender, because our ancestors did that. Okay, I don't want to disagree with that, but then what I want to say, though, our ancestors were both human flesh before they passed on. And to err is human. Why am I saying this? Because if I was to go that route and say that God is a female, then my teachings and what I have searched through the same people who call themselves Christians in different churches, they would say, well, how that one be? Because an example is in John 3:16. John 3:16, quote unquote, says, "For God so loved the world that he," male gender, "gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish." He is a male gender. So I'm not disputing anything. I'm just saying, if we look at it further, maybe we can explain it, or if somebody else will come and explain to me why, not only me, everybody else, why they assume, or our ancestors assume, that God was a female. But other than that, Marsha, it was great. In my mind and in my heart, I do believe that our ancestors were joyous, they were joyful, they were happy. Yeah,
the other thing is, too, first time we got permission to really view something inside too. We got permission to do that, and we asked on numerous occasions not to force the issue, but you know, we just asked one or twice, and then we just back off, because we guided by if she said there, he say yes, but if she said no, no problem either, you know. But Ms. Marsha, anything else you want to share with us as concerning the more events coming up? I know, you know, our month, our month, you know, is right around the corner.
Okay, when it comes to upcoming event, I'm only going to mention the Miss Garifuna Wabagari pageant that will take place this Saturday at the parish hall. Adults are $10 and children, which include high school students with ID, is $5 to enter. I want to encourage the people in our community to support the pageant. We haven't had a pageant in a while. COVID kind of threw that off, and also parents who don't want their children to participate in the pageant. But this year, luckily, we have 4 brave young ladies who offered themselves to participate in the Miss Garifuna Wabagari pageant. So we want the support of the community, and we want to also encourage other youths to give of themselves just like these young ladies did. We didn't have to pull their legs. They are the ones who offered themselves. So Saturday, Philip Marine Parish Hall, and also We're going to be raffling a 40-inch TV at the pageant, and we will also launch the calendar of activities for NGC Dangriga branch. So the other activities, you will hear more at the Dangriga pageant because we are still trying to finalize certain things. But of course, we have calendar of activities with activities organized by the National Garifuna Council Dangriga branch, as well as other organizations like DYFA in Dangriga, and other entrepreneurs and businesses who asked us to include their event on the calendar. So we're getting a few more information. The deadline was last Friday. So once the date passed, they have a few who already reached out to inform us. So we're just waiting to finalize that. And after this weekend, we can't add anything else to our calendar. However, if you come up with an event after this and you want us to share your flyer, that's no problem. You get it to us and we can put it on National Garifuna Council Dangriga branch page. We have our page. Tell a friend, invite a friend to go and like our page and follow us there. Yes, we're launching the calendar, but of course we're going to keep you up to date with the activities as time goes by. The next big event after the pageant will be the TV Ramos tribute on November 13th. We'll be back to talk more about those.
All right, thank you. Oh no, we have a long night tonight, Chalamar. We have a very long night. We have a lot of things to talk about. Yes, Miss Marsha, anything else you want to?
Yes, before I finish up, I want to mention that we have two, I refer to them as friends of NGC Dangriga branch in the diaspora. That's how I refer to them. Miss Wani Garcia and Georgette Lambe, who are very passionate about assisting with the celebrations in Dangriga. And on behalf of NGC Dangriga branch, they will try to help us to see how they can reach out to the people that side to help the community. Because what we do is for the community, not for NGC, but for the community. So we represent NGC, but our activities are for the community so that we can ensure the preservation of our culture. A lot of people keep saying it's losing its meaning. So let's try to show people that that will not happen, So we're asking the people out there to please, whatever contribution you can give, it's not cheap to run these activities. It's not cheap to run these activities. It's very expensive and all the businesses are bombarded. So I understand sometimes when we can only get so much from businesses because everybody tries to have activity, and for the most part, most of these activities are not even culturally related. However, they know people in these organizations. So the people who are actually trying to push the cultural activities, we are limited. We get limited resources, because of everybody who wants to do something. So I am asking everybody, not only in the diaspora, also here in Dangriga, whatever you can give to National Garifuna Council Dangriga branch, because yes, we need the assistance. Anything at all, $5 in a matter. Just please make your contribution if it is possible. We're not pulling your legs. Whatever is possible. Please give your support to the organization and we will greatly appreciate. And of course, your contribution will not go unnoticed. Nobody I know you give me $5. Everybody else I know you give me something. So keep that in mind when you consider contributing to NGC Dangriga branch and the people in the diaspora. Yes, we have our friends of NGC Dangriga branch, who is trying to assist us as well.
Nice. It's always, again, people will say and don't do. People will talk and don't contribute. And without your contribution, these events that we solely love every year, look forward to it every year, it comes with a cost. Okay, and again, and you're absolutely right. Look, they have organization out there where a whole bunch of, I like DJs, right? But the businesses that don't support, but they are the ones that get the support from just because they don't display Garifuna. So I would encourage the businesses and individuals out there you know, to support organization that presents Garifuna activities. All right? Especially around this time. Like all the rum companies there, they support you all around. Now this is a highlight of the event. So culture, because you're in culture capital, and that's what you expect, and that's the change. People say we don't see culture when they come, but you know you see culture because then you support the wrong thing. You're not supporting the culture.
Exactly.
All right. So I hope you could identify organizations that are. Once they say they come with drummings, they come with good food, they come with arts and craft, you know, they come with entertainment, Garifuna entertainment.
That is it.
That's what we look for. That's what we look for. We don't want to hear about no greasy bowl, or we don't want to hear about no kind of pole. We want to hear about the hogo or the gunja, or the paranda, the punta, the sambai, jangwanaragwa. That's what we want to talk about, Garifuna. Correct, international shaka competition. That's the way I hear about this time of the year. We don't hear about nothing else.
I agree.
Right? So, any parting words then, Miss Marsh?
I'm good for now. Thanks for having me, Mr. Herrera. And good night to everybody. Binti Guyo.
Baiti Goyo na Molelo. Mungi Boma Suana.
Sir, Mr. Chalimar.
All right. Well, you know your way. You know your way around the neighborhood, right, Miss Marsh?
Yes, I do.
All right. If you want to sit in and listen or whatever, you're free.
I will catch up.
All right. Good. Or listen in your car on your phone.
I will.
All right. Yes. Chalimar, it was a pleasure. It was a treat for us, Miss Marshall, coming in here tonight.
Yes.
It was a very good presentation. It's also telling us about the activity and what the past event this weekend went on just now, which I think was the most important event, by the way. And I don't really care about the big truck. I care about our spiritual foundation. Came along, Chalimar.
Benaro na mole. Benaro. Meme ga kebu ngone. Oh, gaina go ha gamba habaya. Amuti awadi maido ahari. Wa you know. Dale yenta omeni. Machula good ye ke itaga. Ke babu seronia. Memega Katie Woshariola Dabuyaba Samudi no wonder Wamawa the Hamoti Hachilago Oyenu, like the Garina Usungu Bewagi. But that never happened, so at least the doors were open. And I really do think, that the next time around, it will be better. I know I make no excuses for nobody because I don't believe in that. Then again, some people, because of the weather, they never can know anyhow.
Yeah, but that weather thing there, Chalimar, it's not an excuse. Because trust me, from 18th morning when it rained, all the streets at Riga were full of people in the rain, under the rain. I could tell you that right now. But I believe is that we have to focus on the young people. You know, I make sure I took my son with me in the rain. You know, I make sure he learns what's going on. I make sure he focused on what's going on. At least I introduce it to him and I explain it to him. You know explain to him why we should appreciate our culture, because a lot of people talk about they're being Garifuna. Oh, I'm a Garifuna because gang is not Garifuna. I'm a Garifuna, you know. That's all they say. But when they come to they think we don't believe in anything there. It's sad because that's how God made you. God made you a Garifuna. You try to change yourself, but you can't change yourself. You know, because even if they have messages for you, you will get the message, no matter if you run or dodge from it. Garifuna is a very dynamic people, it's a dynamic culture. And our spirituality, man, again, you say, we are expecting too much. But you don't expect that among, you don't get that expectation for the churches. But you got all these expectation, immediate healing. You want to happen right now. But if you don't believe that now it happen, if you don't have trust and confidence in your own, you know what happened? You cannot just use the Garifuna experience or the Garifuna culture just because it's for your own selfish means. You cannot do that. You know?
So Maurice, again, when people are confused with Confucius, all they do is point fingers. Because I could cross the other line, I could jump over the other fence then. You have churches, and I know they knock more churches, you know. I know I knock nothing because I don't like it when they knock for me the Buyabato. But if we serve the same God, and then for you church have healing services, somebody speak in tongue, and they say if you not speak in tongue, God no in the church, and hey, that's your belief. And if that's the way how God reach out to you, according to you, whatever float on the boat, are right with me. So then when we do for we thing, for we that we about, then that's supposed to be all right with we without any nonsense coming out of your mouth. But at least Saturday gone, they see it. But yet they were still, some of them were still look for Bashwe. They were still look for Bashwe.
They're trying to find the negative, Chalamar. They're trying to find the negative. They're always trying to find the negative from Garifuna though. It's ridiculous. I have an experience this. Real quick, so Chalamar, I have an experience this weekend, right? I went to the store. I went to buy some nail and some screws and things like that for my pole cook. And I met this guy, he's a contractor, he's call himself a godly man. So real quick, I tell him, man, look, I'm going to your church. Is there any problem going to your church? He said, no, come man, come. So I tell him, well, I would like you to visit the way about me too. Why the man gone off? I said, well, isn't it fair for me to go with you? Why would you want to come with me? I trust you, but why would you want to trust me? You're not even experienced it yet. So it's difficult.
Exactly, but unfortunately, that's the way the world turns with negative people. Because even among themselves in the church, in the churches, some of them claim, okay, are you a Protestant or are you a Christian? That means if you're a Catholic, you're not a Christian. And Christianity that one journey where all are we supposed to depend. So even among themselves they have this spiritual conflict. Go to the again. But this is now that we're speaking this way, Maurice, I'm hoping that our people are listening. Because some of we won't serve that we worst enemies. Okay? And I want to share this with people, and I want to share this with Ono. Ono might not like it, no problem, because that too shall pass. Okay? Look at the atrocities that our ancestors gone through from Balisho to Ratan, all the way through Central America. I want to fast forward. And I want to tell it like it is, because it can lay the baggage. When for we people from Dangriga, Gaino, they were so resourceful. They lume hafaga yoha, laru bea luhiri oburu luhiri balis. They used to go by their long boat, their long dory, a pole and everything. Some could have make it by OCL, Heritage, Maya Prince, or Honduran, with them bought pan full of starch, mango and everything. And I know they said this for be racist of any kind. I only want to show one point. When them people get to Belize City, there were times they had curfew because they have to go sleep in the market or their family members or hotel by 6 o'clock because they come from down south. And with all that, when the people walk around Belize City with their pan on their head, they sell starch or mango. For we ancestors and for we elders gone through more than where we go through now, because some of them I know because I hear it with my ears. Miss you want buy starch? No, Kerobi. Our ancestors and elders went through that and they overcome that, they ignored it, and they still go back and sell. Why? Because they are determined. We are powerful people and we should be determined. We shouldn't have to allow those who are negative to bring us down. If you know who you are, then you know where you are going, and you could care less where the negative person they go, even if they come after you.
But how do we, how do we try to curve or help in understanding our spirituality for our people? I think I have one suggestion, and you might have more. I am suggesting that we focus our energies on the young people. What do you say about that?
Binary, and that day I'm going, but then we as elders who know should come together and start teach like how, or teach the little that we know. We get Wadasi Bay, which is Garifuna Wadasi. Lugwa bela wonderogo wamagwa tida friend tida sunkato in everything. Wabelamga la we want do Garifuna the world. That we have to stand up as one people. So we, again, even those who among us who are negative towards us, their own people, we have to ignore them in to a certain degree. Like that's to warufta home. We know I left them behind. Mita tell me have been out going on. But if they choose to go their own way, then abahidi ala mierno. Gomo. But all I'm saying, we are on the right track, even if it just starts Saturday, and it started way before that. We have been crying out to our people for the past, 3 years now?
And we've been patient.
Now and with patience, Beluad what is the way about and again, when our people may come, and they ran away from religion, from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because the Germans and the Englishmen or the European, they may want to force them into religion, and they turn their backs from that. Hadagara, the end of the Ratan, Yingia, Musu Gwenergo, our Hayafa, the two more legilis.
Key point, sticking point there, Chalamar. Key point. Key point is that they were trying to stick their religion on us. And because we don't want it, they want to kill we. And those who didn't resist, the ones who stayed back right now up to this day, they have a different mentality than us because they have been converted to Christianity and all the other religion. But
And
the foundation is not there. They have been forced. They have been subjected to these religion, and now they believe in this religion, and there's hardly anything you could do about that. So, but us that came, escaped. But now they're not the force we know. They're not the force we into this religion now. We are accepting it willfully.
exactly. So again, aba haya fa do tima garino. Na diga wote me hata garino Uganda Yurume no wote me ha garino go ye. Hachila go garino go lobo yindura. Aba haya fa do hamago. They got close to each other and they worked together and they taught each other, even our language. Yadiga, maye tia meha ye india ke gaye oma gweto yara yurume. Amu meha hayano. Amu meha haye. But they stood together, they stick together, and at the end of the day, they end up in the church. And I can speak about the Catholic Church. Even then, they wanted to control our people because they had those who were indoctrinated, I should say.
Yeah.
Not if I can say so. I can say so. Because they were the one that were in at the front pews, where they call Cream Cantana. So when there was a dugu, the Cream Cantana job was to go and tell the priests who were participating at the Dabuyaba, Luhabugo go no tire iligilis. Hadago meha Cream Cantana tour.
No, the Queen Cantana now, man, this world are funny, you know, Charlie, because, I mean, even when you believe you're free, you're not free because you got Queen Cantana around.
Yes, because again, the colonial venom continues to divide and conquer. And then, this generation now, that I really do, not because they wanted to do so, but because they don't know no better.
I guess so. But you know,
Gaddafi tuati gweto. Gaddafi hadwati gweto.
Why? Because if we never, Darati Bena, Ligili Shrugu, Luhanemu Suru Garino. Askatida Methodist, Fino TV Ramos. And if you look at it, what the churches then they do, they are accommodating to certain things, but the message that they want to spread, it remains the same.
Exactly.
You could play the drums now. I heard. I never made a boat, but I never made a rum, but I heard they never want me to play with drum in another time.
Exactly. But just the same way, those things can change. All those things come along with generational changes. So we cannot give up on this generation. All we have to do is educate this generation, that way we could continue on as a people. You see? And like you said earlier, without making any excuses, I will give you an example. Sunday, and I know I'm not habafu, but like I always tell everybody, Frangutina. And if I see something, if I see or hear something where we want to destroy any part of Garifuna, I will speak about it. I don't care who. It could be Charlie Monster, my pa who done dead, they don't know. And it so happened that I got on Habafo. And I could tell anybody, when Habafo started, was with me and my cousin, the mayor. And everything was about professionalism and respect for each other. Anybody. Okay? And when I hear my Garifuna brother said, and the only reason I got on the phone Sunday was because I heard about that killing that occurred in Dangriga. So I said, make I check this thing out, and bam, I gone straight to Habafu. And I hear my cousin, they say like this, that he have other things for do. He have other important things for do. And he he got caught up on other things because that's why he can't talk or even write for we language. This a person know. So he put that behind the back burners until his siblings come from the States that they can talk Garifuna because he not got nobody for talk to here in Belize.
Is that?
Boy, that our limro gunuragero.
What kind of
our limro gunuragero?
You see, the thing there, it kind of like separate yourself knowingly from the people. So only your brother and sister you go talk to. How if they not show up, what happens in that time there?
They don't talk, none at all. And the younger generation who they listen to that will believe that, okay, well, we don't have to talk it neither. So that way upset me because at the end of the day, I dip on Facebook most of the time. They share my knowledge with everybody, anybody, whether you that girl, we are not kidding who. And most of the time, I write in a Garifuna and I translate, make everybody can understand. And I pray that every Garinago, not only in Dangriga, throughout Belize, should have the opportunity to learn our language because we have one. That of we identity. We don't have to wait for no MOU, or we don't have to wait for get graded by anybody. At this time, we need to work together so that we can all know how to speak our language and we can write it. We don't have to wait for nobody standardized for our language because that not happen for years. So we have to put our best foot forward now.
Again, we cannot talk and not the walk. We've been talking and walking here at DYFA. So we encourage people to talk and walk because then you see something that happen, do your lead part, whatever you can do, whatever you could handle, you do it. But not say, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that, oh, that's all we need to do. But I used to talk, you know they said just you cannot reference nothing because you're just a talk. Do something and do what you can to elevate the culture.
Exactly. Because if I may want to complain, complaining no one change nothing. All you do that cause idiots forget more rebellious and not go where part we supposed to go.
Yeah.
Gash to nadari hani hasamina grige no go bela wonde wama go ke garino. But you have the gaping cities there where they drop the nonsense in the heads of people. And when I explain to them, I know, man, they're not sure this thing go. It's supposed to go this way, go that way, Lugwarbela. Then the man switch over and talk about, oh, well, he needs to see the MOU and this. What the hell does that have to do with speaking Garifuna?
Nika.
or writing Garifuna.
Nika.
Our ancestors never know one thing about MOU. All they knew was Lohiri Yara Yara CDS to Hafase Hakato.
Look how the pencil make you twist up your mind, no? If they
That's my point.
look how the pencil make you twist up, you have to wait for MOU before you start talk Garifuna, and before you start talk Garifuna so-called properly. This to have nothing to do with we talk the way how our ancestors and how they pass it down to us. You don't have to wait for no MOU for justify the way how you supposed to talk. Do a little part.
And to be graded.
And to be graded. What kind of grade that
and to get our elites. That's a separation name.
Yeah, it is separation.
That's a separation right there.
Elites are the same pencil where they talk about. Then they say
Exactly.
pencil because then they want to give you water. They can't walk through for their yard. There's a whole lot of things this so-called elites.
You know here none of them DYFA or Habafu or so-called to come out and say, well, okay, I want to contribute to the education of our people. You know here none of them come up like that.
They hide. But before
You understand? But all they do is make excuses and then throw negative remarks, while we, the other side, get for we people to come together as one. I don't have my war on the Namuleno. And that is same nonsense happening among the Mayans.
They were stressed we out if we focused on them.
No, that's why we don't focus on them.
Obviously, colonial mentality. No, the colonialists don't have to the monks we know. He could have far, and they have our own people fighting our own. You know, we be saying it. We are our worst enemy. When are we going to try something different? Left we alone, make we do what we need to do. Stop being a hindrance. If you are being a hindrance, just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride.
Look at where we are with NGC. I never say nothing when NGC me do. But did it bother me? No, I still continue to help and share what I know. Because it's up to them to change. And within the past year, they do great changes, and one of them again that me last Saturday. You understand? Like gas to one year woman, gas to what some in a rule leader aba. To get what that's a bone. Bushan waga gamba how I go to Garifuna do like a maruf would be dancing.
That's a lot of nice. Let's go to the viewers because we have a lot of viewers right quick. Then we'll go right back into this conversation. I really like it, enjoying it. Very educational tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I know I come hard tonight. That's why I eat out in the Loba. Good night. Although I am not Garifuna, I live with a Garifuna man and I hold a deep respect for the culture. And I wish I knew how to speak the language and perform the traditional language. That's what the coolie girl is saying. Right? Then Shirley Garcia.
And she can do it.
Shirley Garcia Martinez. She said, that's right, Dad. Alright, I got my dad, Shirley.
Yeah.
Then Angela Palazzo, she said, I live in Belize City. I am happy that I logged in the middle of Baba Roy's talk. I appreciate all who have participated and made it possible. And then we have Anthony Brown say he love it. She love it. He love it. He love it. Angela Palacio again. She is urging the people wherever you are to support these activities. Please attend the events. And Salome loved that as well. That coming from Angela. And again, Felix Martinez from Las Vegas. He's saying we all have a responsibility to learn our language and to teach our children our language. So Felix again is saying, giving you all who are involved in and with the activities leading up to Garifuna Settlement Day enough respect. Thank you, Felix.
Mira da.
And then our friend, our good friend from Labuga, Juan C. Sanchez.
Nibugay.
He said, good natin allow Yano Luma Saminaw Le Bungi Hama.
Ite wayage bo nibugay.
And that'll be the last comment we'll read off tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We want to continue this conversation here tonight because, you know, we've been through this over and over again to reach out to our people, to come together. We not just want to talk it. Do it. Do it. Those evil thoughts don't work. You know, work against we because then we have been saying this and we have been praying to our God for a long time. Garifuna, from my vantage point, let's get rid of that. Let's try to get rid of that colonial mentality. Because it puts you in place so you can fight with each other. Make we try something. One time, try something different. One time and see what it works. Make we try at least, try see where we say. Step away from that for a moment. And if it's not harming you, support it, man. Support the movement. Support the movement. Lo wayano atida wayenye. Nuduhain.
Ibiru. This to Takato Tonamule. Now I had to Erie. You know me, I'm a call name. Maybe about 3 years ago, I was laying with Benno. I don't know Charlie Mar. Why? Let's go with me at the Garifuna Museum nearby.
Halegi Yap or Ibalis?
Daily.
Okay.
Half a Denker and 48th Street.
You not getting
I'm going to Ben. Where we going to the bike? And then, oh, we are going to a conference there. And I told him, I said, Ben, I don't want to go around people who were stupid about the if not go, you know, bro. And then Ben said, no, let's go. The chemo, and we gone. Long story short, cousin who our farmer teacher, so we got to because she was writing on the blackboard explaining, which was a good thing. She was explaining how we should start writing Garifuna, but she was using my late uncle's writing, Clifford Palacio, Uncle Cliff book. So it made a lot of sense. Because long before he died, he used to send me things per chat. Before they bring Facebook, they got my chat thing per computer. And he would send anything to me, or then he would mail me some of his writings and whatnot. And I love that man to death even now. Well, Ruben Reyes, I learned Garifuna. He got up and he started doing his thing, and I was excited because the man opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I loved it. And he brought up this thing, when he bring up this thing about the flag and the emblem and the colors, how it's supposed to set up and everything. But I said to myself, we don't even standardize for we language. How the hell we want standardized for we flag? So obviously we're not under the same umbrella. In my mind, and this was what I was saying. But I guess I had a facial expression that he didn't agree with. And the man come up to me. I never do that man nothing, you know. And the man come up to me and he tell me, let me tell you something. Ben Flores could speak better Garifuna than you. For no reason. And maybe he expected me to respond. Because when he said that, right away in my mind clicked, and I said, oh, this are the same nonsense I never want to call for.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. But if I respond, I want to give the satisfaction. And I know again no satisfaction. And I walk, when the thing done, we walk out of there, and I tell Ben, I say, Ben, you see why I'm telling you I never want to come? I tell him, but Ben, I can tell you something. I want to tell you something about me. When it comes to Fuwi culture, when it comes to Fuwi language, I make sure that I may learn how to speak Garifuna, and I did it my way to learn how to write Garifuna. Tadagu no now, just because 3 female cost me per bus. I worked my tail off to get to where I'm at, for allow somebody for contrite, dampen my spirit. I tell them, but I'm gonna tell you something about me. Even if I hear nonsense, I take the non out of it, and I take the non out of the nonsense and get the sense out of it. You could learn from a damn fool, but they don't realize that you didn't learn from them. And I learned more, even though he think he offended me. I'm a Ben, and we jump in my vehicle and we're gone. And I have nothing, and I still have respect for that young man. You know why I have the respect for Ruben Reyes, Because he's knowledgeable and he have a lot that he can share and teach us and this generation.
But at the same time,
I had a lady Haluma, but if I get angry enough to have a dispute with him, then that will stop me from learning.
but at the same time, you can't come and change things, man. And that's what I think that, the same Ruben Reyes, he is knowledgeable, but like this is why when you read history books, and that's why the books they're tricky, because the author and their books, they change the thing into for their feelings or for how they want it, man. If I see something black, white, and yellow, I say, I might feel like, why make I put the yellow at the top or make I put the white? If I find it that man, because you feel that way, and then you feel so strongly about it because now you want to make a name for yourself. That is a no-no. You cannot work here in culture capital and not going to work nowhere else.
Well, that's why when I hear things like that, or somebody else that come with that same kind of nonsense there with grading and MOU and stuff like that. About Team Unuragiru. I get riled up behind that crap. You see? If you know so much, well then take your time and help teach somebody else. But you can't teach because you just said that you don't know for talk it. And you do wait for your siblings come for make you talk together.
Oh boy.
So then because you can't talk it and you can't write it, then you shut up. Or you ask somebody for help you. You know how many people from different races follow me on Facebook when I write in a Garifuna? And I love it, and I love that. Because then I want for we people understand that, hey, if I could do it, you could do it too. So make we do it together. Make we learn together. So I only highlight the thing, that some of they think that some of the reasons why we there we part we there, and yet we go forward. But if we go forward and I listen to that kind of crap there, now I will call your name because you don't put it out on Facebook, make everybody hear. We have to do better than that. If you think you know, then contribute, man.
Yeah.
So Namule, we will continue our way, and like I said, I thank you for being there and for having the patience with me. From the time I joined you, and you told me we're going to work and deal with Garifuna Wabagari, and that's exactly what we did the past 3 years. We've been through thick and thin. We've been through a bunch of idiots. To the point right now, I could pass through them like knife in or a hot knife in a butter. Because I said we're part we there now. They may have done a nabagunia. We told mama must na mama got na naba. And I will not let them do that to me anymore. Because we're in the right direction. We talked about getting when we spoke about our spirituality, and I shared what I knew about our Dabuyaba, and I told you myself said it, and the late great honorable Father Valentine said it. Lola chilu balada lu wabelu Dabuyaba go gweto he said that, and I told you that the day will come for us to enter that Dabuyaba so that people can see. And that's exactly what transpired Saturday. Soon kato patience. With patience, we will continue to do so, Namole. We will continue to do so. And again, I want to say thanks to our people, because then they do an awesome job. This thing not change overnight. Especially when you have negative thorns pricking at you. I want to have the same energy, the same force that our ancestors had. Because if you don't think you need to go through, our ancestors and elders gone through a lot, and they still overcome. They overcame all that nonsense to have us where we at, where to go. I want to hear that what to be Johnny Gao. Ready one more cut over to. Ready one more. Matar the guild down to a friend they wrote. The leader Ibagari asked a little while. That's what a friend they didn't know about our war. Grab a little afraid they what you want. But we got this side. We got this.
Well, our focus has been heavily on entertainment, and that is a strategy. It is a intentional strategy, because then we have our attention now. Our people will have our attention now. Now we got to get down to serious business 2020, 2025 coming up. Serious business. And that is more teaching, more guests, Garifuna spirituality, because it's our weakness at this time. But we got to strengthen it. The entertainment come anytime. We could just with our eye closed. We don't have a plan for that. You know, with the dance, we baby, in our mother's womb with the dance. But we don't really pray. So You're absolutely right, Talmar, and those people who are waiting, or the elders that are waiting for people to come to them, please get up, get out, get up and get out. We need you. This is an opportune time for us. Because then there's a lot of forces that are against us right now that are taking our people away and continue to indoctrinate our people. So we gotta fight that. We gotta fight that with the information that people are needed to give them the confidence to be themselves, to accepting themselves for every part of themselves, every part of Garifuna Do. Not only the language. Mama again, why? Our heart, the Garifuna heart, is complete with everything. You just can't say, okay, I'm a big Garifuna. I like Garifuna because I eat the food, or I wear the clothes. No, you don't even have to wear the clothes. You don't have to eat the food. But your vibes, your spirit, your love, your way of life. That is what we're trying to maintain, that is we're trying to preserve here. You see right now, me and Charlemar is here. Like we say again, Charlemar, everybody come and go. So you know the people that are really destined to work for you. The people that are really destined to give you the information, to be the voice of the voiceless. All that kind of entertainment, then we don't worry about that, no? Again, we don't worry about that. We want to give you some tangible information where you could live with, where you could share, where you could move on and on and on throughout this world. That's what we want. Just if I just me and Charlie Marr, when it comes to giving out information, yeah, be just me and Charlie Marr. I don't go no way. We don't need nothing fancy. We don't need nothing elaborate. All we need is simplicity that will give you the information. Garifuna Do and Garifuna spirituality. We don't have no such thing as a preacher man in a thing. We could give you all this nice and fancy word. But the Gapensil that been to these schools and being scholars and stuff like that. We'll send you out for something. The ancestors send you out there to gain, to learn, to infiltrate, to go on this reconnaissance mission amongst every other culture, every other race, every other country. You go and discover, you go and learn how they live. We never say make they change you or you change yourself. To go learn. God make all different type of people. You're just fortunate and you're just a unique people that you have to accept yourself. Everything about yourself you gotta accept. Why is it that you attack bad by your own culture? That you like to curse your own self, like to box your own self. You have to stop it. It's not right, it's not cool.
Right, are you kidding me? Namole Ferduban. You remember, just a few minutes ago, I shared with everyone what our ancestors went through when they went to Belize to sell their products. Then people gone through a lot. And at the end of the day, they worked so hard. Our ancestors and our elders worked hard to send us to school so we could have a better life and not go through the things that they went through. And we ourselves in turn do it to ourselves because all of a sudden now we the doctor this and doctor that. But I got news for them. And got news for everybody. Truth me hata how binadu gaino go gayo. Gibet me hanabo no. Oh no hadit no hadit la escuela rugo. No hatro nisu asubri Harry Getty. They used to say that. One lot of people used to say that. And now they go, I have put me because I have banned the Wadago Kato Togeto. I had one where me actually tell me that we're gonna kneel it. I had one that actually tell me that how for we ancestors me stupid.
They got one way on Facebook the other day. I forget the she name, and I want to call she name because then we'll give her some little credibility, we'll give her some voices that is negative voices. How if we ancestors are ever be stupid? You stupid when you talk about you talk about comparing your ancestors to you, who made you the way you are today. You know, they're not going to university, but they could read. They could read your mind, they could read more than a book there. They could read, they could cook.
They open the doors for you to be able to go to school to learn and know what you do know now, and then you turn around and kick them in their ass.
So you're supposed to be better than them.
And hear what? The man turned around and tell me, the man challenged me for debate on Facebook. Like I don't want jackass like him. I ignored him because if you don't have respect for your ancestors and your elders, then how the hell you have respect for me? Yema babu iga gigi.
You know.
So those are the things. Those are the things that we are going through. But we have to talk about these things that way we could change our ways. We have to transform our mind. We have to transform our spirit. We have to transform everything about us.
Everything about us. Let's do one more reading from our viewers, Chalamar, because Mabu said lo hengula wabule right, that we don't want Mabu right, we don't want so Agnes Serrano, she just said yes, Binaro, truth how waduheng. They were very smart. They were philosophical. You know, they don't use the word philosophical, but that's what we go to school and we could use it now. We know we know who they were. We know who they were. Sereme. Angela Palace. Angela Palace, our elders are passing on. We need to make them and our ancestors proud.
Exactly, Angela.
And Matilda Palacio, she agreed 100% with Agnes and Angela Palacio. And Agnes is saying, Maurice, you are doing well. Thanks for all you do. Our parents prayed. The forces will not win. They need to be leaders, not followers. Well, you know, thanks Agnes, thanks Angela, thanks all of you all that have been keeping us. You know, anytime you say things like that, it make us, myself and Chalamar, make us do more. You know, let us do more research, dig deeper in our heads, consult our ancestors, because it's not something that is popular, you know. It's not something that's popular. They're trying to destroy our Dabweba every single day, you know, and it's sad, but we'll get over it because we're not give up. We're not give up.
We can't give up because at the end of the day, Belu do lubegi ligini shugu. Belu do ligini shugu lege tila meha tila memegi do dabuyaba. We learn from the same Bible, the same word from the same Bible, because we serve in the same God. Dale habra ligini shugu papa hayi. They're under the anointing again. So how we can go under the cultural anointing too? Or we own spiritual anointing?
Because they're saying make we not judge nobody. But they're not the same one where they judge people, right? They're the same one where they judge people. They say not judge nobody, but they're the same one that judge people. You the papa hat ain't to the legalist and we can't papa hat enough we that we about what are the problem? When we the papa how we communicate. I get the ain't. Man, again, man, I just wanna encourage our people to always look deep inside and not be angry with yourself. You know, don't hate yourself. You are beautiful. You're smart. You're intelligent. You are powerful. We have a connection with our ancestors that nobody else has. That you don't want to lose that connection. You know, that other side, you could know that we are peaceful people. You know, look how long Greg have been here. You know, and another reason why we don't hurt each other because we know each other. We know what to expect from each other. Make we not disrespect each other just to make we try to look good. Or if we make somebody say, hey, you bad, you this, you that. We don't need no self-praise for that. You know, Garifuna though is just, to me, it's a perfect people that God made. God made everybody perfect, but I'm concerned about our people. We are perfect. If we want to go somewhere in life, we always have to stay in our lane. The minute you try to cross the lane, the accident will look for Charlie, man.
You better believe it. You better believe it. And at the end of the day, though, Maurice, all of us individually have our own spirituality. Because we responsible for our own spirituality. But when we come together as one, as a people, culturally and spiritually, it makes it even stronger. And every race have their own spirituality, and we not beat them for that.
No.
I could tell you, I got about only. Hagana go kyono. A papa hagia. Aba hayabi wa you no go hard again, no he should go fair home. Money hagia out. But some men are the same one, they will always want to destroy for we spirituality. And they go through the same thing. Only because they know God that buyaba.
The control, man, all about controlling each other, man.
That's what it is. Somebody go about bongo. Man, know thyself. You know why I die? Because when we don't know ourselves, about way back okay, about wagan okay, gayo, magina hal. About the wagan haye, out of the wall, the new wali.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's sad.
But again, we can't make that kind of people get to we have to stand firm as a people and continue to do what we do best. And we can do it. I know we can because we just have to keep the faith, man. Keep the faith and stay strong. Because with hope, because hope without faith is dead. But we can do it, people. Gyara gwato won wala da benilu buto bungu to waye. I my I hower I harguti. Ke waye hagyo.
Yeah. Well, with that said, now, Charlie, Mara, close it off, man. Don't be. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is, man, you say we're making me ready for two, gone over 2 hours tonight, just like that. Just like that. Well, I never eat nothing, I never eat nothing solid tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I eat something different, but I'm not telling them I eat something different. But I was ready for this, Charlie Mara. It's been, again, we got to do the same thing again next week, man, until you know, I mean, hey, we got to talk about it. We gotta let people. We gotta bring it to the forefront so the people know who you are. If you don't know, we are reminding who you are. You know. So with that said, I gotta say good to go. Chalamar, close it up.
Na mole furgo la lige sunti ga bafuli garba le noago. Iter meme nuba uwer buma lu gwarbe la barufta hanu musu to wamamo. Ho garina wala de. Tadiga tuge wadasi bo wonuogo. It is our responsibility for us to work together, to learn together, to do everything together. Our responsibility to ourselves is what we call in Garifuna duo wadasi tura. Kelerungu babarai. Udili woma lugwa belewa hisse go woma wongo. That are the biggest thing. We have to learn to love one another. Memega gasto hisse wama wongu fumia. First, we have to love ourselves before we can love others. Once we can do that, it's going to be a piece of cake. Don't ever entertain anyone who will try to give you negativity, pierce you with negative remarks. At the end of the day, those who are without sin, let them cast the first stone. Just don't snatch that negative stone and walk away with it. How I argue the dubrite na chirbe harigi larigo. But let us be Garinagu. Let us be who God made us to be.
All right.
We have our own identity.
Yeah.
Stop going out there crying and say, well, I have my culture and you don't do nothing about it. Because then you are worthless. When you do that, you're like a foolish dog barking at a flying bird. If you want to respect your culture and your spirituality, then live it.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid on Facebook all of the time. Don't be afraid or ashamed to even start speaking your language or writing it. Be bold. Spell it just like how you hear it. Again, spell it just like how you hear it. And then you do a translation. And those who know will make corrections. Only so we could learn. Kudos to the teachers. In any one of their school or their classrooms who they teach Garifuna. Kudos to you all. Bungi Yohama Suwanda. Darali Bena. Lina Gamalo Darauta Bena. Memega Beluha do Tila Dabuya. Wageti Lube Waruma da Hatau Dabuya. Mama Nuti Wabela Gudu Bijo Watao or Mafia Tida Dabuya. Mawaya Suba de again. So with that being said, thanks for having me tonight. Thanks to our listeners and thanks to everybody. And thanks to those who agree and those who do not agree. So I'm near home, na friend there hamagi. Aba yisene. Mabriga.
Mabriga, be yourself. Aba yisene, Sermon Wamo, Sermon soon, Wamada go to Gibugarada, as to ha, to go 91.7 FM, DYFA Garifuna radio station, Yage, Dangriga, Luz Subo, ayo.
Ayo.
Beautiful, warm, and tropical. The people are sweet, never physical. Blue waters and blue skies. The rich culture never dies. The rich culture never dies. The rich culture never dies. Beautiful, warm, and tropical. The people are sweet,